Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do now that you finished your material, is make sure under your texture set lists that each of these materials has a name that you're going to easily be able to recognize. So for example, Desert Eagle 01, Desert Eagle 02. Now this name cannot match any other person's name, otherwise they'll overwrite each other and it won't work correctly. So do that first. Then you're going to do a file export texture and make sure you know where you're putting it, and the config should be Unreal Engine 4 packed, not SSS. And then you click export and it'll give you all of the it's going to give you all the, let me show you, materials. Actually texture is what we call these. The material is the thing that has all the textures. So, and you can see there's M1 and M2, or DE02 and DE01. This is occlusion, roughness, metallic, base color, and normal. So there we go. This is the actual mesh Desert Eagle, but we can't put this in Unreal yet. The first thing we need to do is in Unreal, I've taken the rifle, the skeletal mesh. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the W drive. And the thing that's tricky about this is your gun has to be exactly in the same location as this gun. So if I go into the skeleton, this is called a skeletal mesh, which means it has a skeleton attached to it. We have a rifle root, which sits right back there. We have the rifle magazine, which is where the magazine is going to go. And then we have the muzzle flash. So the root's going to be kind of like where your arm's going to go. It's a little tricky, and it's not going to work perfectly the first time. You might have to try a few tries. But I'm going to go ahead right now, and I'm going to right-click on this. I'm going to do Asset Actions, and I'm going to export this file so that we all have it to work with. And this is just going to be our rifle template. And I'll export it as an FBX, and I'm going to put that on the W drive. So you should now see it if you go into here. And I want to make sure that I get that it's a skeletal mesh, morph targets. Hopefully this gets everything that we need. Sometimes it's harder than others. Now I'm going to import. I'm going to import not only my Desert Eagle, the one that I've already, everything, I know everything works on this. It's already been modeled and texture works and everything. I'm also going to import on the W drive, the file that I just created, which is called Rifle Template FBX. And it looks like that. So what I need to do is, first off, to make things easier on yourself, do an edit. Delete all by type and history. And now I'm going to rotate this. Make sure when you rotate it, you have your snaps set to maybe 15 degrees, because you want to make sure it's exactly, you don't want it to be rotated like that. Just make sure it's, to be totally sure, you can set this to 90 if you want. Next thing I need to do is make it approximate size. And in particular, you need to make sure that the barrel is right in that location that it needs to be. Otherwise, it's not going to work correctly. So let's say that that's about right. Now, this is a pistol and this is a big gun, so it's not, things aren't going to work exactly like we want them to, and that's okay for the sake of this project. We can modify it later. I'm going to call this Desert Eagle, and I found this by going over here, this button. Now under rifle, you'll see that there's rifle root and then there's rifle. We're going to take Desert Eagle and we're going to slide it in here with the middle mouse button right on top of rifle. So it needs to look like this. If it doesn't look like exactly like that, then undo it and try again. Now under rifle root, we're going to leave that where it is. And under rifle mag, you're going to probably need to move that one to where your magazine is. So I guess like right there. And I don't see the muzzle flash. I'm not. I've noticed that didn't happen last time either, and it seemed to still work out okay. But let's go with this for now. I might have to export the skeleton separately later, but let's go ahead and do a file, export selection. Oh, make sure you click on this, not this. Gotta have the whole thing here. In fact, I'll even call this desert. Keep saying desert eagle. And this is actually a skeletal mesh, so maybe I'll do SK. Okay, file, export selection. We want to do an FBX. We're going to call this SK for skeletal mesh, desert eagle. I'm going to put this back in my desktop in my, desert eagle folder. Now we're going to go back to Unreal. And let's go ahead. We have a folder here for, I'll just go ahead and say weapons. Or let's just say this, custom assets. That's the stuff you guys have created, and you can use this folder as well. And now I'm going to go into here, and I'm just going to drag all this stuff in there, except for the original mesh. I don't need whatever that file is. I just need the one I just created, as well as the materials. So I'll bring them in here. And please use this folder so we can stay consistent. And then I want to make sure I say that tell it it's a skeletal mesh. And I'm going to have it use the skeleton of the rifle. And it may not work because it didn't have the muzzle flash. So it's probably going to give me an error. And it's going to say failed to merge bones. Would you like to regenerate the skeleton from this mesh? And I am going to try saying yes to all, and we'll see if that works. And it didn't work. But I think we might be okay anyway. If I double click on this, and then we go to skeleton, and you say it looks like it's well, it's using that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Obviously my understanding of all this stuff is not complete. I'm doing my best here, but we have two materials. One is Lambert 2 and one is MGun01. So I know that the 01 stuff is going to be this. So I'm just going to rename this to DE01, and this one will be MDE02. So now if I just throw my Desert Eagle up here, let's make that nice and big. Do the same thing where you should know by now how to set your materials. So there's DE01, there's DE02. I'll take the O2 ones, throw them here, the O1s in here, plug them in. Here's our normal. Here is our base color, and this is the one that's got all three: occlusion, roughness, metallic. Occlusion, roughness, metallic. You have to do that thing where you set it to linear color, double click on it, uncheck sRGB, save, and save. Let's do the same thing to DE02. We got our base color, our normals, our occlusion, roughness, metallic, linear color, uncheck sRGB, save, and save. So the weapon looks right now. Ooh, where'd it go? I guess it looks right. I feel like I did not do that right. Maybe I switched them. Yeah, I did. There we go. Cool. Okay. So what do we do with this little Desert Eagle gun that we have now? Which keeps asking me to regenerate skeleton. First off, I need to switch these here too, because I did name them wrong. Alright, and then we're going to tell it which, it says rifle skeleton, so we'll see what happens. Now I'm going to go into the blueprints. And I'm going to look for the blueprint that says pistol. There should be one in here. Because I know that if we play the game, there's a few different types of pistols. So we can see there's an M9 and a Glock 18. So I'll just switch it to the M9. So if I look through here, if I just type in M9, it should pop up. No, it didn't. Well, let's look under rifle or something. It should be in here somewhere. Pistol. Shotgun. There's weapon 01. I think that's probably it. Secondary weapon 01. And right now it's using let's see if we can find the mesh that it uses. I'm not seeing it here, so let's go to Open Full Blueprint Editor. Under Viewport, we can see that right here. It's rifle. Let's switch this to the Desert Eagle. And there's another one here. Let's do the same thing. I'm not sure why it's got two of them. I think one is what you see and one is what the other players see. So it still uses those old materials. That's odd. DE02. Let's try that. And let's do the same thing to here. DE02. Okay. There we go. Let's compile it, save it, and let's see what happens. If we hit play, and I hit 2, no 3, no 2, huh. Let's try that again. Let's see if I switch to the other weapon, the Glock. There it is. And you can see that it didn't quite work out exactly how we wanted it to, but I think for a starting point, that's okay. We will have to figure out exactly how to get this perfected, but let's start here, and we'll fine-tune it as we go. You know, it's good enough to play the game, and you can make changes to the damage type and all that stuff. But pretty cool. Now, what do you do if someone else has already done this? They've already taken the secondary weapon, and you can see that when you click on it, someone else has taken it. And there's already 2 pistols. What you're going to do is you're going to right click and you're going to make a duplicate of it. And so then we'll have the option of choosing the third one as well. I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. If you're doing the grenade, it'll be the same thing. Well, I don't know if the grenade actually is a... The grenade is just a static mesh, so you don't have to do all this if you have the grenade. You just replace this. You just replace this with whatever your grenade is. That's easy. Same with the flag. If you're doing the flag, let's take a look. You got team... The base flag is probably the one you're going to want to... I don't know, maybe both. And you can see here under flag that you would just change the static mesh here. So again, you don't have to worry about this skeleton or anything like that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good luck. I know that's not easy.